Good evening, y'all. This is Traveling Man doing my next YouTube video here. Tonight's video I'm going to be talking about after the smoke cleared after the whole Oscar diversity talk that's been going on in Hollywood. I'm going to kind of break that down here, and it's going to be I'm going to try to tone it down here, but hey, this it's real. It's harvest time. It's time to cut out all the games. But anyway, uh, of course you all know Jada Pinkett Smith came out and said she was going to boycott the Oscars and requested other black actors and actresses to boycott the Oscars because of their lack of diversity over the last couple of years. How they haven't had one black nominee, and then Will came out and talked about some of the same ideas. Now, uh, to be honest with you, it almost seems kind of contrived. To be honest with you, because Jada, of course, Will, in the past was like the biggest star in the world, definitely one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. So I mean, I could understand if he said that on his own. It almost seems like somebody or he put her up to it. He said he didn't. She just went on her own and spoke about it. I mean, hey, I'll take the man's word for it, but I just personally don't believe it. I'm just, it just doesn't seem right. But that being said, at the end of the day, man, the Academy can do what they want to do. I mean, they've never really cared about black people. You go ask the late great Hattie McDaniel what they feel about her. Of course, they had gone with the Williams back in the '40s, but she still couldn't go to certain premieres, and she still had to sit at a segregated table when they had the award show. I mean, they never really cared about you anyway, and they don't have to. This is their organization, But like I said before with the Bill Cosby video, it's time. It's the days of acceptance. I mean, that's over with, man. It's time for empowerment. Of course, I understand. Of course, you want to get, you want to be recognized by your peers, in the craft of acting. I understand that, but I mean, hey, man, you make them come to you. All we have to do is get a better balance, and they come to you, and that's just the way it has to be, man. Forget wanting to be accepted from other people or whatever. That's just like you're pushing so hard to do that, especially somebody like Will Smith who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You could already build your own entity as far as things go. Now Spike Lee, now he really, Spike Lee just got his Lifetime Child Achievement Award, but still, he didn't make really a speech. Now they talked to him after about how he felt, and he kind of echoed the same sentiments. But Spike, um, he was like, I never really, made a public statement about it. I said I wasn't going. It wasn't, really a big deal. And the thing is, Spike has been people give Spike a hard, but Spike has been talking about the racism in the industry since the moment he came in. But he didn't just wait until something happened for him. He's been speaking about this since his whole career, and that's why people don't like him. He's very outspoken. He speaks about the racism in the industry. Always, he's always done that. What? Let's be real. When it came to Will Smith, he do what racism? When we kept having these big Willie weekends, when Men in Black 2 came out and Hancock came out and I Am Legend came out and I Robot came out, there was no racism. But let's be real. Now Will Smith's career is taking a hit. Like I said, I hate to have it go back to my first video, but it's true. Like I said, he kept doing, as a whole, he kept doing the same roles for 20 years, and now Hollywood's done with him. He's gotten his wake up call. I tell you, this is the year of the nigga wake up call. I mean, just in society as a whole, with all this stuff going on in the streets, with brothers and sisters being innocently killed by people, and the people not being charged, and them being somewhat so to speak blackballed in the industry or blackballed for more. I hope this is the year to wake up call. Okay, it's time for us to be empowered, man. It's enough of this want to be accepted. It's not working. They never did like you anyway. Will they like you because you made them money? That's it. Now Will has had his own well, not even saying that. Like I said, Jada. I mean, come on now. That's why I feel like Will might have put Jada up to it. Because Jada, let's be real, she hasn't really had a hit since Nutty Professor, and she played supporting character in that. I'm not being disrespectful, but come on now, Jada is not a heavy hitter in Hollywood. She's never been. Let's just be honest, and that's just the truth. And I'm not being mean, but come on now. Minor characters or characters anybody could have played in The Matrix and set it off. I mean, but I mean, that's okay. And that's okay. But let's just be honest. Will Smith was the heavy hitter. Let's stop playing that. And I think Will would even like, hey, wouldn't let her go so far. Like, hey, this is gonna ruin my career. This is gonna ruin my career if you talk. I mean, even she would know better than that. Better than that, excuse me. Now, on the other hand, Will has had his own production company, Overbrook Entertainment, since '97. But as a whole, he hasn't really, in production, that just means more creative control. But as a whole, he hasn't really put any new black people on like that. As a whole, most of his movies in Overbrook has been, the I Robots and the I Am Legends, like those movies. All his movies and his son's movies have been the only thing in that production company. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean by power. You could have put a bunch of brothers and sisters on, or put a lot of brothers and sisters and push those movies, but you chose not to do that. It was all about you, and that's okay. But don't wait until after the smoke is cleared to say something. You have to say, like I said before, you say this stuff when you're at the peak of your career. If you want people to take you serious, don't say something after your career is taking a hit. Come on now. And I put this article under the link. This is something else that people are kind of neglecting. His production company, Overbrook Entertainment, out of the 25 writers, there's only two black writers. You talking about that's not, let's be real, that's not being versatile. That's not being inclusive. Out of 25 writers, you have two black ones. I mean, come on now. But you want more black diversity, but you don't have that diversity in your own entity. But you want people to take you serious. Come on now. If it was at least half and half, okay, let's say there's maybe 8 or 10 writers out of 25. Okay, maybe we can start talking about 2 out of 25. That's not really going to cut it. And like I said, when you look at Will's entire career, what black people has he really put on other than his son? Don't worry, I'll wait. Say what you want about Spike. Spike made it a goal from the jump to put brothers and sisters on. Let's be honest, man. You can go down to Denzel. Denzel was of course an accomplished actor before, but Denzel will tell you, Denzel didn't really go to the forefront until you started working with Spike. When you started doing Mo Better Blues and Malcolm X, and you see what I mean? And that's why to this day, anytime Spike wants to do a movie, Denzel's there. Because he knows, hey man, Spike is really the reason I got put on. Wesley Snipes. And Wesley Snipes, was one of the premier actors in the 90s, man. Until, Spike put him in, like I said, Mo Better Blues and Jungle Fever, he wasn't really out there like that. Talented, Spike put him on, really. That's why to this day, they just did Chirac. Sam Jackson, same thing. And of course, like, and he's talked about it. People know, like, Sam Jackson back in those days, he had a cocaine problem. That's one of the reasons why it kind of took him some years to really kind of blow up. People look at Sam Jackson blowing up with Pulp Fiction. Like, no, he'll tell you, like, dude, once when Spike put me in Jungle Fever and I played, Gator Purified, a crackhead. After I did that movie, Hollywood called and they haven't stopped calling since. Spike put him on. Even after he was going through his issues, he said, hey man, I want Sam to get his shine. He put him out there. And like I said, to this day, that's why him and Spike are still working together. You see what I'm saying? Can you name me one person that Will Smith put on that was black? It's not about that per se, but I mean, don't get black now. Don't talk about the lack of diversity now. You didn't put anybody on. Spike put them on. Angela Bassett. I didn't really know who Angela Bassett was until I saw her in Malcolm X in '92. And since then, she still stayed on the scene. You see what I'm saying? Will didn't put anybody on, and now you turn around and everybody around you is white, and they're not really giving you the pull they used to, or the pull you think you should get. You sitting up here worth $260 million, $300 million or something, and now you still sitting by, oh please boss, can I please get my award? Like, man, come on, man, stop that, man. This is the year of empowerment. This is not the year of the years of begging Mr. Charlie for a butter biscuit are over, man. They don't care. They never did. And like I said, they don't have to. This is their award show. You're not really invited anyway, as a whole. Come on now. Let's just be honest about that. And same thing with Tyler Perry. The actors that he put. Like I said, I talked about Tyler Perry in my last video. Like I said, just some things I don't care for, some things I do, but I do respect that brother having his own production company, and he's putting a lot of brothers and sisters to work. and that's just a fact. Whether you like it or not, hey, I gotta respect that. You know. And see, and this right here represents the post. Well, no, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna really say, I guess the post Fresh Prince Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel Air Will Smith, and before that. Because people forget, man. Now, when Will wasn't playing that back in the day. And people look at Will as being controversial. Will didn't play this stuff back in the day. In '89, when Parents Just Don't Understand was nominated for best rap performance, it was actually a new category at the time. Will Smith boycotted it and publicly stated it because they wouldn't televise the award. He's like, hey man, this is an art form just like anybody else. We're out here working hard and making music like anybody else. You're not going to televise it. I'm not coming. They actually won, but he said, hey, forget that. It's not about that. I'm not going unless y'all televise it, and they didn't do it. See, Will wasn't playing that stuff back in the day. He just said, I'm not going. You see what I mean? But look at what's going on now. Hollywood done got him now, and he doesn't want to speak on anything until now that the tables are turned. And really, with all this stuff going on in the world right now, I mean, talking about we're going to boycott, the Oscars. I mean, like I said, y'all had, especially Will, but I'm saying you all had the money and power to really single-handedly put Hollywood on his feet, but you didn't want to do that. You were just worried about getting yours. Janet Hubbard from she was the first Aunt Viv on Fresh Prince. She came out with a video. She was actually kicking some real game. Now I feel like she should have, I know her and Will didn't get along initially, but I think she should have gotten over that and just moved on. But she brought up a good point. Like I said, she's like, man, it's not really that serious. And she said, now you didn't really stand up for anybody else. Now you want these actors and actresses to kind of, ruin their opportunities or dampen their opportunities by not going. Like, how does that make you look? And she said she remembers specifically going to, I think the rest of the cast members when Will was on Fresh Prince of Bel Air, excuse me, and saying like, why don't we, Will, since you're the star of the show, how about we all get together and we all ask for a raise together, and then hey, we could make more money as a unit. And he said, hey, I got my contract, you got yours, and that's fine. Hey, and like she brought up a good point, like they did with Friends. All of them came up and said, hey, if we don't get a raise, none of us doing the show as a whole. And they realized how that would benefit all of them. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest, man. White people, they know how to get on the same page. Black people don't. We're just fooled by, like I say, if one of us gets a butter biscuit, that's all we want. And that's, and Friends, those cats, they made what, $1 million per episode. They're still eating off that, I bet. They didn't have to really, those actors and actresses from Friends really didn't have to do anything else. $1 million an episode, you set. And I'm not saying that the Fresh Prince actors are struggling per se, but I'm just saying it's a big difference. But in the end, like I said, once again, this is the year of the nigga wake up call. Bill got his and still getting his. I think the allegations he got brought up on. I think he was found not guilty, but nobody cares. His career is ruined. Because he wanted to talk some real stuff when he was in his 70s. Nobody wanted to hear it. Now that the shoe's on the other foot, he's like, oh, I hope the black media can treat me better. Will had 20 plus years to make some power moves in Hollywood other than just acting, and he chose not to do it. Don't get it twisted. These companies, Fox and these other people that he did movies for, they didn't, you felt like they liked you, dude. They didn't pay you. They paid you because you made them money. These movies like Men in Black making, like 300 million and 500 million worldwide. That's nothing for them to pay you 20 million. If they paid you $20 million, how much money did they make? They made billions off of Will Smith. Sure, yeah, we'll give you 30 million for I Am Legend. But guess how much we're gonna make? Don't get it twisted, man. They're paying you because you're gonna make them money. That's a drop in the bucket as compared to what they get. Don't act like they like you. And anybody out there just in whoever owns their own business or or just worked a regular 9 to 5, man. The people that you're doing business with, they pay you because that they owe you. They don't pay you because they like you. And you don't have to be liked. They pay you because that's the money they owe you. Don't forget that. I'll go back to I don't know if you all remember that August Wilson play, um Fences. I think initially it was oh man, what's the guy's name? Yeah, James Earl Jones who did it, and Denzel I think reprised the role a few years ago on Broadway. Did Fences, and it was a book. Of course, it's based on a book, but I mean they took it to the stage. But he brought up a good point. His son, the two characters, the son told his dad, "Hey man, how come you never liked me?" He's like, "Man, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, son, hey, I don't have to like you. But guess what? You got food in your belly, right? You got clothes in your back and live in a house, right? So what does that mean?" He's like, "That means you like me, right?" So no, that means, I, dude, that's my job. My father. I'm a father. I'm supposed to take care of you. That's my job. And he brought up a good point. He talked about his boss. He said, "Dude, Mr. Rand doesn't pay me because he likes me. He pays me because he owes me. That's the only reason he pays me." It's the truth. That's one of the real statements ever. They don't peep your job or whoever you do business with. They don't pay you because they like you. They pay you because they owe you. You're not just walking in and on your job for 8 and 10 and 12 and 16 hours because you ain't got nothing to do. That's how you make money. So when you get that check that they give you, they owe you that. That's all it is. Don't think they're paying you $30 million and giving you 10% of the gross because they just love you so much. No, dude, you're putting in a lot of work. So they have to pay you that, and that's all it is. And like I said, in the end, I mean, this is like I said, I just think just as society as a whole, they're really showing their behinds now. I mean, it's just more overt now, but I mean, it's always been like this, you know. But you shake them by empowering yourself, and it's coming with good movies on your own. That's going to be the driving force. Hollywood is still blown by what Straight Outta Compton did. Straight Outta Compton on a $30 million budget made $161 million in the U.S. and then 33 million overseas. Hollywood was like, how in the world did this happen? A movie about some street kids from Compton, California, and their ups and downs in the music industry and the business world too. How did this movie make so much money? And then we bet the house on a movie like Pan, on $150 million budget made 34 million. How did this happen? You see what I'm saying? Hey man, they just did it. You know what I mean? They just did it. Just a great movie. I mean, like I said, when you make that much $1 million, you crossed over past the, if you want to call it the black audience or whatever you want to call it. You've gone past that. This wasn't just an underground hit like Menace to Society or Boys in the Hood. I mean, great movies, obviously critically acclaimed, but still more cult classic. Because it kind of those movies only kind of went past a certain audience. But I mean, $161 million. Hollywood is like, how in the world did this happen? Hey man, we just made a good movie. We can make good movies. And but even it's funny, like, no, none of that movie was well written, well directed, great actors and the whole 9 yards, and most of these actors were fresh faced actors. I know for a fact, O'Shea Jackson Jr., the Ice Cube's son who played him, he was a brand new guy. He did a great job. All the actors, the guy who played Easy E, the guy who played Dre, they did great jobs in that movie. None of them cats got nominated as well as this movie did, and how well it not only the box office. This movie was critically acclaimed too. None of them got nominated. F. Gary Gray, the director, he didn't get nominated, but the white writers got nominated for an Oscar. What are they saying? What are they really saying? They don't care about you anyway. But hey, at the end of the day, Cube now does that. Like I said, I give respect to Cube, man. Cube understands empowerment. Hey, man, Cube made a joke. He was on Andrew Martinez show. Said maybe we just should have put a slave in Straight Outta Compton. As funny as it is, true. Maybe if we put a slave in there, we would have won. But Cube, like I said, Cube understands the big picture. That's why Cube ain't never really relied on the system. He's always practiced what he preaches. Cube vision from day one. When he came out with Friday, F. Gary Gray, he really put that was F. Gary Gray's first theatrical movie, and he put, he really helped, F. Gary Gray get in that position. If F. Gary Gray went on to do hit movies like The Negotiator, The Italian Job, Law Abiding Citizens, things like that. Q practiced what he preaches. He put Chris Tucker on. Now Chris Tucker was already on the rise in stand up, but Friday took him to the map, and then you saw him do your Money Talks and your Rush Hours and this, that, and the third. But he put him on. He'll tell you that's why I was a little disappointed when Chris said he was going to do another Friday. Like, dude, you really owe Q. Like I said, Spike put the actors on, like I said, Denzel, Sam Jackson, Wesley Snipes, and they still work with him because they knew, hey man, without him, I might not have made it. You know what I mean? He put us on. Q put Chris Tucker on. Mike Epps, he really took Mike Epps to the next level. So these brothers, that's why I respect them, because they practice what they preach. How many black people has Will Smith put on? None. Like you sit up here with $300 million, begging, begging white folks, oh, can I please get on my award, sir? Please, sir. Like, come on, man. Come on now. You had the money and power to change the system, but you chose not to do that. So you reap what you sow at this point. And like I said, I understand you do want to, you want an Oscar, you do want to get recognized by your peers, but at the same time, for black folks, it's like, if you're getting an award for, the same types of stereotypical roles, I mean, what's worth it really? As great as an actor as Denzel was, what did he get an Oscar for? He got an Oscar for playing a slave in Glory and a thug in Training Day. Now, he did a great job in those movies. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying he didn't deserve the Oscar for Glory or didn't deserve the Oscar for Training Day. Training Day is one of my all-time favorite movies. That's a great. He did a great job. I'm just saying he couldn't win for Malcolm X. That role's too threatening. See, they're not gonna give him the Oscar for that. He couldn't win for The Hurricane, but he went for playing a slave and a thug. Okay, and I'm not saying some of the other brothers that didn't win, like Louis Gossett Jr. or Sidney Poitier or Forrest Whitaker, to deserve it. As a totality, I mean, you pretty much have to play a degrading role to win anything for the most part. As a whole, let's be honest. And the black women, the sisters, I mean, they completely throwing them to the wolves. Other than maybe Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost, I mean, even she still played a sassy black woman. Every black woman that's won has either played a slut or a mammy. Break it down. Hattie McDaniel played. That's where the term mammy comes from. Mammy and Gone with the Wind, a fat, sassy black woman, that the stereotypical fat, sassy black woman. What other roles have come since? Said Monique. I mean, no disrespect to none of these sisters, but let's just be honest. Monique in Precious, he played mammy, fat, sassy black woman. Talk about fix my chitlins and all this other crap. I mean, come on now. Octavia Spencer for The Help played a mammy. That whole movie. You was all these black people. You was kind. You was smart. You was important. I's gonna do. We's gonna do. And that fat woman eat my s. Eat my shit. Okay. The fat sassy black woman. Every time. Halle Berry. She had to get scraped by a hillbilly to win. I mean, let's be real. Monsters Ball. It wasn't really a great acting job. Now, Halle Berry's done some great acting movies, like Dorothy Dandridge. She's done some great acting jobs. It's not that, or even the small part she had in Jungle Fever playing that crackhead. She's had better roles, but she won for playing a slut. What is Hollywood? What is Hollywood really saying about us? They never cared about us anyway. This is the year of empowerment. None of these days are bootlicking. And Will Smith, you can't. Like I said, you can't. He doesn't get any leverage on this point, because you spent your whole career, let's be real, just playing these non-threatening roles that just made white folks comfortable, and now that they're tired of you, they're done with you. You're ready to complain now. You're ready to turn black now, but you weren't black before when it was Big Willie weekend. Come on now. Will spend his whole career trying to be liked, and now it's over. That's why he turned down Django. That's why, like I said in my first video, I hate to, I didn't even want these videos to connect, but they did. I told you when he turned down Django, I was like, that was it. That was his chance to I think, take it to the next level, because Hollywood would have had no choice but to look at that man in a different light. Come on, we couldn't get through the issues. He's changed his story like 5 or 6 times since that came out because people are like, why in the world you turn this down? Tarantino, people like Leo DiCaprio had been begging to be in Tarantino's movie. That dude had he wanted to be he begged to be in Inglorious Bastards, but he was like, man, it's not right yet. He's begging to be in Tarantino's movies. This dude said, dude, I want you to be the lead of my movie. But we know he turned it down because Django's about a rebellious slave that a rebellious ex-slave. That's too controversial for Will Smith. But like I said, a movie like The Legend of Bagger Vance, no, that's you playing a white man's caddy in the '30s. Now that's not controversial at all. And Will Smith had already reached the point of superstar status. Why he would take that role, is beyond me. But like I said, Django's a threatening role. Let's stop playing games. And you can tell because I remember to this day going to see Django with one of my buddies, and it wasn't too many brothers in there. It was like me, him, and maybe a couple other black people. And they of course the whole controversy was the movie said nigga a lot, but and sometimes it's used for comedic purposes, but a lot of times it's used to be degrading. Obviously, like hey, this is you're degrading, you're worthless. That's why I'm calling you a nigga. And the white folks in the audience, boy, they were laughing their behinds off. They thought it was so funny. They were giggling. But oh no, at the end of the movie when Django's pistol was popping off, oh no, the laughter stopped. I remember that. You man, you can hear ant peeing on cotton, man. It got quiet. I remember that when Django grabbed the slave master's slave and started whooping him with it and shot him. Oh no, it wasn't funny no more. I remember, especially at the end when Django went on that killing spree. I remember because I could hear me and my friend, my buddy that was with me. I can hear our echo because we weren't laughing. We were like, ooh, because it was serious, man. Jamie Foxx's gun was busting off, and it got quiet, man. They didn't find that funny. So Will Smith was scared to rock the boat, but now, now you want to rock the boat. Now that your career is about on its last leg. It has nothing to do with his talent. It has everything to do with him wanting to conform to the system. And you see what they've done with his son. Yeah, you don't have a problem with that. Now, see, that this is, and like I said, this is what, and like I said, forget that. Like I said, if I have to degrade myself, I mean, money's only a certain thing. That's why I have a lot of respect for Dave Chappelle when he said he was on the movie Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence and they tried to make him wear a dress. He said, I'm not doing that. And he refused to do it. Now, like I said, now Will, yeah, he's talking about racism now and all this stuff, but he don't mind Louis Vuitton or Gucci going to his son and making him the spokesperson for women's clothes. He talking about, oh yeah, I want my son to express himself. Man, come on now. His son. I'm not like I say, hey man, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But come on, man. His son has chose to bend over, figuratively speaking, to get his role in Hollywood because like I said, they didn't like his acting in After Earth. So you've planted in his mind, hey, just whatever it takes to get a check, I'll do it. Even it makes me wearing women's clothes. Like man, you ain't making no statement. You're not Prince. You know what I'm saying? Prince came out the gate wearing women's clothes. Yeah, he didn't do that after a while and then switch up. No, he came out doing that, and that was, and that was more just shock value anyway. When he was just that was just shock value anyway. Just to because the '80s was a real expressive period. But at the end of the day, Prince was talented. He didn't have to. People after a while you kind of forgot. The focus was his talent, not him wearing women's clothes. This seems like a desperate attempt to stay in the game. But Will's, oh yeah, that's him expressing himself. No, it's him, pretty much saying I'll do anything to be famous, because that's what you all have taught him. So the only thing you can do, I think Will Smith's career is about over. But the only thing you can do now is try your best to teach your kids to go another direction. Go ahead and take chances. We have $300 million in the bank, so we're good. Now I'm going to show you how to empower yourself. Now, if you want to, let's say, okay, there's something about my son started a clothing line for women, and he's got people modeling them, to show, whatever he feels like, whatever he has a talent for, or he has some kind of ambition to get women certain clothes. Okay, that's something different. But why do you have to be the spokeswoman for women's clothes and you're a man? I'm just saying, why do you have to do that? There's nothing else for you? But this is what it is. Like I said, I'm not, I don't want to make this video too long, kind of going on a rant here. But like I said, this is the day, man. This is the nigga wake up call is coming left and right, man. This is the year of empowerment. Forget the whole tap dancing to get and shucking and jiving and being comfortable to please Mr. Charlie. Those days are over, man. That doesn't work. At the end of the day, man, if they don't like you, they don't like you. They're not, they might be, oh, you're okay for right now because you're one of the safe Negroes. But at the end of the day, it's not doing anything. It's never going to do anything. The dime is to empower yourself. Will Smith could have been empowering people. He could have been put so many people on to where we wouldn't have to really have this conversation. But forget it, Oscar, man. It's about, if you just let's come to the table with good movies, and Hollywood will come to us. You know what I mean? We don't have to go to Hollywood. So that's the big picture you have to think about. Will Smith didn't think about that for the last 20 years, which is why his career's on his last leg. Nothing to do with his talent, but just the choices he made as far as his acting career and being threatened and not putting anybody else on when he could have. So now the chicks have come on home to roost. So hey, it is what it is. All right, y'all have a good one.